Nashville, Tennessee, country music capital of the world, home of the Grand Ole Opry, where singers and dreamers come seeking stardom. Join me as we learn about the lives and careers of those who built this town on Classic Country Backstories. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Classic Country Backstories. I'm Colleen Gallagher. And who are you?
I'm Jim Gallagher.
Oh, I'm so glad to be on here this evening. I tell you, I hope everybody's doing good tonight. We're doing good. We've had a good weekend. We uh we actually went up to St. Louis last night and spent the night and went to a concert, a non-country concert, but hey, all kinds of music, they're great as long as you don't call them country music if they're not, right?
Right.
So we saw Starship in Missouri and John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band and Shooting Stars. So it was a good evening for us. Something completely different for us. We don't get a chance to get away very often. So it was really nice to be able to get out. So welcome to Classic Country Backstories. We are now over 2,000 subscribers. I'm so excited about that. It's we've been going for about, well, year and gosh, 9 months. I think year and 9 months. I believe the channel's been up. So we're so excited to be here with you all talking about all things classic country music. We love classic country music. Like I said, I love all kinds of music, but you can't call it country music if it's not country music. So that's what we're all about, and that's what we're here for. So we're always looking for ways to better the channel. So let us know what you think. While we're here this evening, we're here to answer your questions or to talk to you about all things country music. Um, we appreciate you all watching and subscribing, and people that follow the channel. Make sure you share it with others. That helps us out more than you can know. Just trying to build the channel. If you haven't subscribed, it's an easy thing to do. It doesn't cost anything. You just go to YouTube. You can set up an account on YouTube, and you can also that doesn't cost a thing. So it's just like setting up a Facebook. You just set up a little account, and when you're on YouTube, you can you have a history of everything you watch. So if you want to go back and watch something again, I kind of like that. So um, you have a history of that if you're a member. So it's easy to do, and it helps us out an awful lot for you to subscribe. Um, so when you hit the subscribe button, uh, you can like the channel. Other ways you can help us is to watch the videos in their entirety. So the algorithm that puts us out there for our videos depends on a lot of times if people watch a video all the way through or not. And I know some of our videos we have some that are quite lengthy, and I get it. Sometimes you don't have time to watch the whole thing, but you can go back and watch it, and I think that helps too. So this is all a lot of work for us, but it's sure worth it to help preserve the history of traditional country music. And it means so much that you're here to support us and to support traditional country music. So, in recent weeks, we've dropped episodes on Don Rich, on Conway Twitty, and on Little Jimmy Dickens. I know we've had a lot of requests for Conway Twitty. So, um, sure excited that we have that. We have some more footage that we actually got after we did the program. We actually went to Twitty City and did some filming. So that'll show up somewhere at some point in time with what we do. So we just got back from Nashville here a week or so ago, and we had a great time visiting with friends, and we had a great time filming tons of new video for content for the program. So uh, be looking for that in the future. It takes a little time to get these programs put together the way we do it. I'm always trying to find a way to cut to the chase and get the content out there quicker, but we want to make sure it's good. We want to make sure it's as correct as we can get it, the information. Sometimes we don't hit it 100%. I know we get some comments sometimes. We had a couple comments on Johnny Horton. Apparently, he was not a baseball player, he was a basketball player. So, so thanks for giving us that information. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. You know, I do all the research that I can going into this to try to give you the most correct information we possibly can. Some of these old stars though that haven't been around for a long time and you don't have any family members or many people around now to be able to ask the questions. So sometimes it makes it kind of hard to get extremely accurate information, but that's always our goal. That's what we go into it with. Um, so we appreciate y'all. Right now, we're taking this time of year to kind of slow things down. The band, we're not doing anything else the rest of the year. We don't have anything scheduled with our buddy Max T Barnes right now. We're just taking the time down to enjoy the holidays and to regenerate and to get ready for the upcoming year. But we have a lot of exciting things coming up in 2026 that we want to share with you. So, um, with that being said, one of the big things that we want to do is our Irish friend Ryan Turner, along with our buddy and boss man Max T Barnes, is bringing a group over from Ireland and the UK on March the 4th through March the 10th to Nashville for a week packed with music and sights of the Music City. So it's going to be so much fun. We're going to take you to all the hot spots and we're going to show you exactly what makes Nashville the country music capital of the world. So all our Irish friends, all our UK friends, make sure to sign up for it right now. There's a flyer we've got on the screen. There are numbers at the bottom. So if you'll contact Sharon at Country Music Tours to get your reservation now, it's filling up pretty fast. So you might want to get on that as soon as you can to try to get your seat now. It's going to be a cram-packed week of things going on every day from the time that you land until the time you leave. So nothing but fun, lots of fun. And Jim and I are going to be out there for the whole week.
Yep.
We're going to be performing and doing a show for you at some point, but we want to be out there and we want to hang with you all. You know, we were fortunate enough that uh, we've made a couple different trips over to Ireland with our buddy Max. Uh, he's taken us there, and we've had so much fun, and we've made a lot of great Irish friends, and we're looking forward to seeing some of those friends, and hoping we can get some folks from the UK to come over, and we can visit with them. I just want to run around with y'all and see what's going on and show you how we do things in Nashville. So it's a great time. So make sure to plan to be with us now.
On
Um,
the traditional side of country music.
yeah, it is a traditional country music tour. So excited
So
about that.
we won't be spending a lot of time on Broadway.
No, I'm sure. Well, I know they will go. They will
Yeah.
see, and there will be things to see in Broadway,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of things other than Broadway. And
Oh, yeah.
there are some great places where there is traditional country music down there. So lots of great food, lots of great sights, lots of great people. The people in Nashville are just the kindest people. And, you know, I always say, you know, our trips to Ireland, the Irish folks were so kind to us and we were so happy to get the chance to be there. And we're looking forward to coming back over there. But we want to get a chance to kind of show you how things are over here. So we're kind of proud of Nashville and of the country music scene and the fact that there still is a good traditional country music scene in Nashville. So make sure to come with us March the 4th through the 10th in Nashville. Make sure to make your plans. Um, Also, I know Ryan Turner has it on his Facebook page all the time. And also on ours. It will be on ours. It'll be on the Classic Country Backstories, our personal pages. So make sure uh, that you sign up now. Like I said, the tour is filling up quickly. So if you're interested in making the Nashville trip, make sure you make your plans right now. All right.
I think Ryan said there was only like 5 spots left, but
Something like
I
that.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going quick. So um and I think for what you get, the price is very reasonable. So I think it's just going to be a great time. So make sure you come and see us. All right. Um, we've got lots of good stuff to cover uh, on our program tonight. I wanted to talk a little bit about Willie and Lucas Nelson. Both of them are up for a Grammy against each other for traditional country album. Now, ironically, the last time a father and son were up against each other for a Grammy was back in 1984 when Julio Iglesias was up for Best Latin Pop Album against his son Enrique. Enrique. That's hard to say for me. Uh, Ironically, the album was the one that Willie Nelson and Julio had "To All the Girls We've Loved Before" on it. So, sadly, neither one won the Grammy that night, but, it's really exciting that Lucas and Willie are up against each other in this award. I'm interested to see, and like I said, it's for traditional country album, which brings me to, with a father and son being up for awards together. It reminds me of back in 1992, the CMA Awards, when Max T. Barnes and Skip Ewing were up with songwriter. Set was It was for Song of the Year, recorded by Colin Ray that they had written called "Love Me." I know y'all know that was a big hit. It was a number one hit. So, but they were up against Max's dad, Max D. Barnes, and Vince Gill for a song they had written for Vince called "Look at Us." So this was the first time in CMA history that a father and son were up against each other for an award in any category. And I don't think that that's happened since then. I could be wrong, but I don't think it has happened. So um, Willie Nelson's been nominated for a Grammy 57 times. That's crazy. I know he's been around for a while, uh, but this is Lucas's first time as a solo artist, although he shared in the win for the soundtrack of A Star Is Born. So he was in on that for a Grammy. But this is the first time that he is up for a solo Grammy for country album of the year. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's all going to turn out. I think it'll be really, really an exciting evening. Um, I have to say I'm kind of proud of the Grammys because one of the things that they're doing is they've decided to do away with the category of best country album and replace it with two categories: best traditional country album and best contemporary country album. Isn't that cool? They finally are kind of putting some distinction on country music because we all know that country music's not all the same anymore. I mean, it hasn't been for a long time. Um, but there's been some controversy over this change, but it seems like a positive change. People are always Somebody's always going to complain. It doesn't matter. So, but I think it's long overdue that they're actually breaking it down into some categories, some subcategories. Um, Apparently, tweaks and categories are not unusual for the Grammys, according to the Recording Academy CEO Harvey Mason Jr. He's the That's the organization behind the Grammys. He said in an interview with theboot.com that there's a standard process when communities who make music genres speak out, ideas are brought to the board of trustees for a vote. Mason said there's a precedent even for dividing genre categories when competing categories are no longer reconciling neatly into one category. So it sounds like the powers that be are actually listening to the community of music creators and those who have voiced their opinions about how country music should be classified. So the next step, seeing how they're going to divide the artists into the categories, I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to work out. Um, in the same article on the boot.com, it was reported that Sonny Sweeney lost her record deal last year because she was too country for country. So I don't know what you think about that, Jim. That's just kind of, it's
Well,
kind of crazy.
that's I don't
Par
know.
for the course. I don't.
I'm just gonna be quiet on that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I hope I mean, I'm going to speak out. I hope she comes back with a vengeance because she's really talented. I love Sunny Sweeney. She's very seems very sweet but very outspoken. She's a very talented singer, writer, and I hope she does well. So it also gives room for new guys like Zach Top, who
Yeah.
are recording new music in the traditional country style. So, he's been nominated for 3 awards at the 68th Grammy Awards, including Best Traditional Country Album. So he's already in there with Willie and with Lucas for Ain't In It for My Health. He's also up for Best Country Song for I Never Lie. Great song. And the Best Country Solo Performance for the same song. So the Grammys are going to be held on February 1st, 2026. So I'm going to try to watch the Grammys. I'm really excited to see how this is all going to go. So
Well, while you're talking about award shows,
go ahead.
let's mention the CMA Awards, which
Yes.
I'm not a real big fan of award shows. I quit watching them years ago, but November 19th at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, they will be holding the CMA Awards. And our buddy Zach Top is
Yay.
he's up for 2 awards. I was hoping it would be 3, but he's up for male vocalist and album of the year. Uh, don't know why he was not included in the entertainer of the year, but
He'll get there.
that's the powers that be,
Yep.
whatever. But the bonus is Patty Loveless is going to perform, a rare
Oh, yeah.
thing for her to, she's been kind of not been doing a whole lot lately. She's kind of been taking care of her husband and not been, she's not touring anymore. She's not recording. She has made a couple appearances on the Opry, which have been great. So it'll be nice to see her on the CMA Awards.
Yeah. Yeah. Great entertainer. Great singer. That's for sure. So lots of exciting stuff coming up. So, glad Sonny Sweeney is too country for country. Yes, Steve, I agree 100%. There's I just couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe she got released because she was too country. So, I mean, I don't know how they put that to her when they said it, but that's what it says in this article, and I know she said it, so I believe that is definitely the case. So, kind of curious to see what's going to happen there. Um, we'll see. We'll see. But like I said, I mean, I haven't watched the awards in several years. I mean, and it's not. I definitely have nothing against contemporary country music. None. We know that music is not going to stay the same. It's never going to stay the same. There are people um, that love Hank Williams music, and Hank Williams music you know, was country music, hardcore country music. And then, of course, there were changes, in the 70s uh, with the urban cowboy phase. That changed. There became more like that was contemporary country for the time. So music has changed so much through the years, and we expect for that to happen. But I do think it's important that things are categorized because you can't dump everybody into this pool, you know. You
No,
can't you can't put you can't put somebody like Luke Bryan in the same category that you're going to put Zach Top in. To me, I don't they don't do the same genre of music to me. So, I feel like, these categories will probably help. I hope it does. I hope it does. And I mean, there's room for all of it. It just, when it comes to the awards, it does make it kind of difficult when everybody's put into one big pot. Because if you love one type of country music, you're going to be upset if the other type wins, whatever. So they're just going to have to broaden how they do things. But
right.
so yeah, I'm anxious to see how
Well,
these awards come up.
and in other categories of music like rock and roll, you have subcategories. You have
Right,
classic rock, you have, hair metal, you have all different type of genres, and it's still rock and roll, but each one of those genres, you know, they stick to their guns, and they're not categorized as, one particular thing like they are in country music. So
right,
I don't know.
right. You're right. because I mean, like, there's pop, there's rock, there's hip hop, there's all of these different genres,
Right.
and they do,
So let's call it pop country. Let's call
yeah,
it hip hop country. Let's call it
yeah,
traditional country. But
right,
don't put them all in the same category for
no,
awards or,
no,
you know,
no,
so
yeah. I mean, and honestly, it puts people in a box.
yeah.
I feel
I mean,
like
they're all talented people. I'm not taking away
sure,
from those genres, but
yeah, yeah.
we're old and we like classic country music. So,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. So, I mean, and we
And
don't want it to go away. I mean, that's
no,
why we're here. We are
right,
sitting here tonight. We work so hard to do this channel because we love traditional country music and what it stands for.
right.
And, we've spent our lives working, literally our lives working in the traditional country field. I
50
started this
years.
at yeah, 50, yeah, 52 years for me coming up in January. So, I I just want to pay homage to those people you know, that are working so hard to keep it traditional country music.
Right.
So, um also, do you have anything else on that subject?
Well, yes, I
Go
do.
ahead. I'll let you go. I
Uh,
have to say, I'm just glad you're here with me tonight. Jim was really sick
I've
last week.
I've been a little under the weather, so if I sound like a frog, I apologize. I do.
I don't know. I feel like you're doing your best Clint Eastwood tonight. So,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm not doing this completely by myself tonight. Because, like I said, he was really sick last week. He
you
he
and
he lost a couple days there. So,
you and Max T would say that.
yeah,
This is my Clint Eastwood voice.
that's
Um,
right.
yeah. Um, Let me see here. I got something I want to pull up. Uh,
Sure.
and I'm not going to spend but a minute talking about it because we could be here all night. But there's a lot of AI going on nowadays, and I found this article on Saving Country Music. And if you'd like to read it, you can go to their website. It's on the main page. But check it out because it talks about how AI is starting to influence, not only like movies and all
Hmm.
that stuff, but it's really getting into the music genre now. And now, of course, it's creeping into
Yes.
country music. But
Hmm.
this just talks about, you know, how it's getting into country music and what it's doing. And yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so, what are your thoughts on AI?
My,
You know, put them in the comments and leave
yeah.
us a comment about what you think about it. It's got its good points and it's got its bad points.
Hmm.
But, if we let it take over, then there's going to be a
Right.
problem.
When is it real and when is it not? That's where
Right.
we have
I
to
mean,
draw the line. If somebody, because I know we actually have, there are instances now that, like there are pitch correctors that are used on stage. And that
right.
was, first we had Pro Tools in the studio. I understand the the whole concept behind that.
Yeah.
However, there are times when it is so much that, I mean, you can hear the process sounds of a recording, and honestly, it's hard on the entertainer because, I mean, I saw a interview with Tracy Lawrence and Terry Clark, and like Terry said, it gets to the point where you can't pull this off live. It's not going, if you don't use the Pro Tools and things like that live after you've been so perfected in the studio, you're not going to sound the same when you go to a live situation. And to me, I mean, the fact that I can't imagine using Pro Tools or using anything live that would make me sing differently than I sing, other than, I mean, we all use reverb, we all use effects, to enhance our voices.
Hmm.
But I think at the end of the day, you have to be able to sing the way you sing. You know, you have to be a decent singer or not a decent singer, you know. So I think that's where the AI, I know that now they can take somebody's voice and take your tone of voice and they can put it in a song you've never even sang
But
and it's your song.
it'll write a song for you. You can type
Yeah,
in a topic and it will spit the lyrics out for you and then put
that's just
music to it.
nuts. Yeah, it's crazy. And it's
So
good. I mean, we have heard it. Have we
yeah.
not?
So
We've heard examples of that.
you don't really have to have any talent anymore you know,
No.
to do it.
No. No, and I just think I mean, at what point do we think that that's too far? My opinion, it's too far.
No
You know?
creativity.
No. No. I mean, and AI definitely has its good points, but I also know, I mean, I know from what we do here, we might go in and look at something on AI, but I've looked at things on AI that were not accurate
Right.
after I've looked at things to help me word things or whatever. I'm going to be really transparent, but then find out it is not accurate. And,
It's
so
it's kind of like Wikipedia.
right, exactly, right, right. I mean, and it's not a real person. It's made by real people. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to have its faults like anything else. If you think it's going to be perfect, it's not. There's no way. So yeah, with that being said, I don't know. I'm the AI thing, like I said, there are things that I think it could be very helpful with, but there are things that make me very uncomfortable with AI
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
music,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to the voice and how it is used to produce somebody vocally. I just, that's it makes me uncomfortable. It just does. So it's kind of
Yeah.
crazy, but um, so you have anything else on that?
Not on that. No.
Okay. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Clay Walker. Now, if we've seen Clay, if you've seen him lately, there are times that you see him. He's still live performing. He's doing a great job. He sings great, um, but he also, if you'll notice, sometimes he's sitting. And I have seen things where he needs assistance to get off stage to get on stage. So I did do some research on that. Apparently, this past March, he underwent surgery to implant a diclofenac pump device, which diclofenac is a drug, and this pump delivers the medication directly to the spinal cord. Uh, and it is supposed to reduce muscle stiffness that's known as spasticity. Um, Clay Walker's recovery's not been as smooth as he anticipated, according to the interview that I saw. He's been having some balance issues. If you've seen him recently, like I said, he's been seated during some of his performances, and he also requires help getting off and on stage. But he's currently getting physical therapy to dial the device in. And I know, just with anything else electronic, sometimes you have to tweak things and get things worked out. So, and it is an electronic device; those pumps are so. He's currently doing physical therapy to dial that in. Um, he does feel like he's turning a corner, according to the article I read. So that's a great thing. Most people know that Clay Walker was diagnosed in 1996 with multiple sclerosis when he was just 26 years old. So our prayers definitely go out to Clay as he is going through what he's going through with this. And I hope that he gets things lined out so that he feels better. Because I also read in the article, I mean, it's got to be tough. It has to be tough. And I give him a lot of credit for going out there and working. He sings great. He's a great performer, so there's no reason for him not to go out if that's what he feels like he can do and he wants to do. So, just you know, real happy that he's working, and we pray that he gets lined out really soon. So,
Yeah.
um, Wanted to
Him
bring that
and
up.
him and Mark Chestnut too. Mark's been having some up and down. You know,
He has.
he's been having a lot of back problems. He's had some surgeries, and but
He had to have, I think, did he not? He had some heart issues too. He had to have some kind of a heart surgery, which
yeah,
I don't remember exactly what that was, but I thought it was a bypass, but um,
I
came through
saw
that, and
I
yeah,
saw the other day where he posted he's back on the road again. So
yeah, yeah. So that's what I mean. He's a tough guy. He's been through a lot in the last several years. Love Mark Chestnut. He seems like he would be one of the coolest people, and I'd love his music. Love his Definitely love his music and his performances. So hopefully he continues to get better and continues to get out there and do what he loves. Because I know from the interviews that I've seen with him, and he's done some Facebook Live things, um, and he misses the fans when he's not able to get out there. So I'm glad he's back out there doing what he's doing, and I hope he can continue to improve and get better. So. Um, In some other country music news, the Ernest Tubb Record Shop opened its doors again on November 13th, a few days ago, 3 days ago to be exact, uh, after closing in 2022 and undergoing a complete renovation. The new building now includes 4 floors, including the return of the record shop, a space for live music, and a rooftop bar. The grand opening was this past weekend. And on Saturday, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself here. The grand opening was this past weekend with appearances by Vince Gill and Winona and a ton of other people. So there was a free hot dog party, and there was merch given away, and there were drink specials and all kind of stuff. So um, the Ernest Tubb Record Shop is owned by Jamie and Brian Kenny of the hospitality company Tusk Brothers. Um, they bought it for like $18.3 million, and they have rehabbed the building, um, along with the help of Ernest Tubb's grandson, Ernest Dale Tubb III, known as Dale Tubb. He's been involved in the revitalization of this venue to preserve his grandfather's legacy. So, um, the first floor features a honky tonk with 2 stages, it says. The second floor is the actual record shop. And the third floor is a private event venue for private gatherings and record release parties. So, fourth floor is a rooftop bar. So it's not going to be the same as it was before. And I understand you have to upgrade and you have to make things new so that you draw people of all ages. But if you love history, this is the place to go. Um, the key focus of the restoration was to preserve the building's rich history, from what I understand. With the help of Dale Tubb, the history of the building is being preserved through displays of memorabilia from the private Ernest Tubb collection, which is really cool. Um, and the building's been updated with state of the art sound and lighting, but lots of the history has been preserved for those of us who love traditional country music history. So I can't wait to see it. We didn't get a chance to see it when we were down there, but we'll let you know once we've been there. We'll have to come back and do a review on that. Um, Also, one of the big things about this is that the Ernest Tubbs Midnight Jamboree is now back at the record shop, recorded live every Saturday night at 10 p.m., and it airs after the Grand Ole Opry at midnight. And it is like I think it's the second longest running radio show in history, in
yes,
American history.
yes,
So, and it's because it began in 1947. The stars would perform on the Opry, and then they would come across the street to the record shop and perform on the long running radio show. And Jim and I have worked the Midnight Jamboree several times. So it's a very sentimental thing for us that the program continues. The first time I did the Midnight Jamboree, I was about 11 or 12. Then I did it again a few years later. Best part for me was when during those appearances, Ernest Tubb was there running the show and he introduced me. And, when I was a young kid, I mean, I was excited to meet Ernest Tubb. But looking back now, I go, wow, isn't that crazy? He was he was such a nice man. Uh, and then, it's gone all of these years. David McCormick took it over, who worked for Ernest for a long time. He bought the record shop and ran it for several years. Um, Finally selling out here in probably 2022 when it was bought by the folks that have it now. Um, but then you and we were there a few years ago with Leona Williams, um, and then with our band with Ron Williams. So it's been such an honor for us to get a chance to perform on the Midnight Jamboree. Um, I mean, it's second only to the Grand Ole Opry, and
Yeah.
I would put it alongside the Grand Ole Opry in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty special. Kind
it
of
is,
makes
yeah.
the hair on your arm stand up when that theme song kicks in and the curtain goes
Oh,
out.
yeah, yeah. And, the one thing kinda cool that I did notice from what I have seen with the new record shop being open, they're doing a lot of traditional stuff. They've had bluegrass bands playing in there. I heard there was a guy doing "Walking the Floor Over You." I don't know if it was for for the Midnight Jamboree or what it was for, but it was great. So, now, if it's just cool to think that the 3 most historical buildings in country music history are open and are that close to each other. And I'm talking about the Ryman, Tootsie's Orchid Lounge, and now the Ernest Tubb Record Shop. So now, if someone would buy Tootsie's and return it to what it was back when the Old Stars would come in after the Opry or the Midnight Jamboree, now that would be something.
Well,
That would be something.
you
But
never know.
you never know. But it's still there. I mean, if you want to go see Tootsie's Orchid Lounge, you can go. And, according
And
to Terry Clark, the interview I saw, if you go to the downstairs, I mean, there's not much difference from the way it was years ago.
no,
So,
and they have three, I think three stages. There's the one downstairs, then there's a
yes, there are two.
upstairs, and then
Yeah.
there's a rooftop stage
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, there's actually I think there are two stages on the first floor, I think in the front and in the back. And I don't know how that works, but it's like, and of course they have, like I said, state of art. They've rehabbed everything, they've redone everything. I'm sure the sound is incredible in that building, so um, there's just a lot. So like I said, those three buildings, they're close together. It's just so cool. And we'll do a program at some point on downtown or, on the programs, probably both individually, the different venues and uh, on the buildings downtown overall, and how that all pulls back to traditional country music. So,
Yeah, because you have Legends Corner, which is next door to Tootsie's,
hmm hmm
uh, and like AJ's Good Time Bar, which used to be or the Wheel, used to be the Wheel,
hmm
and then there's also the Stage, and of course Robert's Western World, which
oh yeah,
they always have
yeah,
amazing players and
yeah.
singers in there.
Yes, and Roberts, I mean, they still have traditional country music there too. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
there's a lot of contemporary country downtown. There are a lot of single acts, there are a lot of different things. But I mean, there is still a lot of really good music down there. And, and now one of the things too is Broadway. And I don't know if I, my understanding is all the time that they have blocked Broadway off, um, a certain portion of Broadway so that you can cross the street. It's kind of like they did in the past with Beale Street. You can walk up and down the street without the traffic. So, I mean, it's a little crazy for those that are driving around down there to get around. But if you are a country music fan of any kind, it is worth going down there. And I think the record shop will make it even more so worth being there. I can see some return to a little more tradition in that neck of the woods. I think it
Yeah.
cycles like music does. Me, it used to scare me that country music would go away. The traditional country music would go away. But then you see people coming back that are traditionalists or and I'm just talking about, if we let's specify a little bit with traditional country music. You don't have a bunch of recorded backbeat tracks that you have to have live to perform your shows. It has four or five musicians that play live the tracks, and you have the singers doing their things and the background singers. Um, the traditional stuff. There's a lot. I mean, that's what you see when you go to Broadway.
Yeah.
And that's what you see also out by I've got to give props to the folks out on Music Valley Drive. There are great places to go. Rodney Collins, I give him props for having Music City Bar and Grill. He bought the Troubadour, which is where the Ernest Tubbs record shop was at one point, and where the Midnight Jamboree uh, was broadcast for several years. Um, but that's going. You have the scoreboard. They play all kinds of music, but there's still traditional country music there.
Yeah.
Um, we saw when we were in town uh, doing the interviews for the Don Rich program. Um, we went we went to the scoreboard and watched live country entertainment. So um, it's pretty cool, pretty cool. But there's still a lot of good country music in Nashville. So I mean, if you're And like I said, Music Valley Drive has a lot going on out there. Of course, you got the Nashville Palace. They still have a lot of traditional
Oh
country
yeah.
music out there. And you have the Grand Ole Opry, of course. Grand Ole Opry is always going to ebb and flow like anything else down there. They're going to bring in new country artists. I get that. They want to bring young people in that are going to buy tickets. But they're still going to have that tradition. They're still going to pay homage to the tradition, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they're starting to bring in some of the other art.
You disappeared. Where did you go? Uh, where did you go? She left me. Give a shout out to Charlie Collins here. Hey guys, good to see you. Also, our buddy Greg Harned, he's on here too. I think she's back.
I'm back. Are you back?
I've been here. I don't know where you went.
I disappeared.
Yeah, you were gone.
I'm magic. I
You were gone.
disappeared. Greg Harnett says, "How dare you cut Colleen out of the show?" I agree,
It
Greg.
wasn't me.
See how he does me? No, it's like I'm talking like I always do, and all at once it says, "Oh, snap, something went wrong."
Yeah, maybe you overloaded the stream. You crashed the internet.
Maybe I said something. Maybe I said something. Hey, Charlie Collins is in the house. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I
Hi,
just said that.
Charlie.
You
How are
you were
you, buddy?
you were gone, and I said hi to Charlie.
No, I'm so glad to see you. So good to see you. No, like I said, the Ernest Tubb Record Shop I'm excited about that. I'm excited about all of the things that are going on. We have a lot of things coming up next year.
Got to say hey to our buddy Jamester.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Thank you so much for being here, Jamester. I get it. I
Get
get it.
back, get back to your football. Go
He had to
Lions.
get Now, if you're not familiar with classic country music shows, you need to go to YouTube and check his channel out. He's got two
Yes.
channels. So, but I mean, he has some great stuff. He has managed to track down a lot of content from old TV shows and from Nashville Now, from the old shows too. So um, anything from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, he has it on his channel. So um, I'm so tickled to watch his shows because um, it brings back a lot of memories of growing up listening to country music and some of the performers, not only that I watch, but that I worked with. So um, so excited about that to see his stuff. He does a great job of putting it together, and we're huge fans of his. So, Jamester, thank you, buddy, so much for what you do for country music. Um, there's there's so much stuff out there now, and like I said, of course we can't show a lot of the things that he does because we're monetized, and so therefore we can't play music. We can only um, we can only show you the video parts of what goes on when we do our shows together. But if nothing else, it will hopefully drive you all to get on YouTube and look those things up and follow the stuff, the country music that has been in the past. Um, Computer media has made it so much easier for all of us to go back and look at it now. I used to worry that those shows they would go away and we would never see them, again. I love watching the old Del Reeve show. That country carnival and also Billy Walker, he did it for a while. Pop Goes the Country, um, that good old Nashville music, all that stuff. There were so many great shows. In the 70s when I was growing up in country music, that's what I learned from. Was watching those old TV shows, along with playing the records and burning them up. So, um, but it's a cool thing. It's a cool thing. So, Jim, you got anything else? I just been yakking and going on here and see if you're muted, buddy. Your mic's muted.
Sorry. I'm
Oh,
back.
there we go.
Sorry.
He's back.
I was having a coughing, sneezing fit. I'm still not over this stupid bug. So I thought I would excuse myself instead of doing it on camera for everybody.
Well,
But
yeah, they probably appreciate that.
yeah, I'm sure they do. Yeah, I wanted to talk about a couple things here. Let me bring up the shared screen here.
Yes.
Uh, there was a bronze statue of Merle Haggard unveiled in Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Oh, cool.
This is cool.
Oh my
The
gosh.
the article is on classiccountrymusic.com. On Thursday, October 10th, a new statue of Merle Haggard was unveiled in downtown Muskogee, Oklahoma. The celebration was even more special because it took place in the same city where Haggard recorded his 1969 live album, Okie from Muskogee, featuring the iconic song that became one of his most popular hits and helped establish the city as a must visit destination in country music.
Hmm.
So that is really cool. There's a,
That is cool.
you can see the picture of it there.
Oh, now I see it. See, now I'm seeing this for the first time too, guys. Well, we don't necessarily compare complete notes before we get on here. So I get surprised by him and he gets surprised by me, but that is
Yeah,
that is cool.
sometimes
Yeah.
we just wing it too,
Yeah.
it's not all scripted like
No.
Hollywood or whatever.
No.
Uh,
I try to write a few things down so I don't look like a bumbling idiot when I get on here, but we So
then
that is cool. That's cool.
then another thing I wanted to share, which this is awesome. I have my Waymore's
Oh yeah.
Waymore's Outlaw shirt on tonight for a reason, because I don't know if you all know this, but Waylon Jennings has a new album.
Yep. He does, doesn't he?
Yes, it is called Songbird. It is the Fleetwood Mac song that they did, Songbird. Of course, he recorded it long before they did. Um, that's the title of the album. it is on there. I have listened to it. It is an amazing album. It sounds like it came out of 1970, just, you know,
Mhm,
like all of his other albums did.
mhm.
This is the first of three previously unheard albums. His son, Shooter, has found all these tapes that were in the archives, and he's releasing a bunch of this stuff, and it's really good. Um, in this article on musicrow.com, it talks about all the players and everybody that was on it, including Jesse Coulter, you know, and of course Waylon's original band with Gordon Payne and Jerry Bridges, Barney Robertson, and of course Richie Albright is drummer. But when he mixed this down, he did it with an analog board,
Mhm.
and they mixed it in Sunset Sound Studios. So I mean, the quality of it is really good. It you can tell it's a little bit digital. I'm sure they, you know, they had to
They did,
do that,
yeah.
but the mix down, you can tell it was done with analog, and it sounds amazing. So you can buy it. It's available. You know, just search Waylon Jennings' new album. You can find it all different places. You can buy it. You can stream it. It's on Spotify. It's on YouTube Music. I've listened to it two or three times, and I love it.
And, my understanding is most of this is, like, covers from other people that
Yeah.
he's done, and
Yeah.
which is kinda cool. I mean, he took songs that were his favorite. Yeah, I saw, an interview with Shooter, and he was talking about it, that there were some songs that he really loved, and there were songs that, of course, Shooter had never heard until he found these sessions, and then
Yeah.
came back and remixed.
Evidently, there's more coming because
Mhm.
the beginning of the article said the first of three, but it's like really raw because you can hear like things going on in the background of the studio. You might hear a chair creak, you know, while the recording's going on, or you hear, you know, different background noises that they didn't, you know, he didn't edit it out. So it's really raw, but it's very well mixed.
Oh, I'm sure, and I'm sure that Shooter went to great pains to
Yes.
do this. I mean, it has to be a very bittersweet project, for him. But I'm sure he really worked hard to have a finished project that his dad would be proud of. So I have a lot of respect for Shooter. I mean, he has always tried to do his own thing. And I think
Right.
that's cool. I mean, he's
And
done some
it's
things. I mean, we saw him with
yeah.
Waymar's Outlaws doing a little bit of a tribute, but then he did his own show. I have a lot of respect for him for doing the things that he has done on his own, and then also the care that he took to do this. Um, I you've heard it and I haven't. I really need to sit down and
Oh,
listen to it because
it's great.
yeah. Well, I mean, I love Waylon Jennings. Who wouldn't? I just can't imagine. But as I said, I enjoyed. I saw the interview with Shooter um, here a couple weeks ago, and you could tell it was a real labor of love. Um, that he was, he got choked up a little bit about it, talking about it. So I am anxious to really sit down, have the time to sit down and appreciate what he's done. And to have new music by his dad. That's just amazing. All these years later. So.
Yeah. I mean, when's the last time you got a new Conway Twitty album or, you
Yeah,
know, Lefty
yeah,
Frizzell, you know,
yep.
some of that. So,
Do you not wonder though? I wonder. That's one of the things I always think about. There's music out there for a lot of these guys that was never released.
oh,
And
I'm
you always wonder why wasn't it released? Did they feel like it wasn't good enough or did it just kind of fall through the cracks? Did they lose their deal? And
well,
so many things happen
a
that
lot of
there are
that
things.
was, you know, they go into the studio and they record. Back then, they would record 20 songs,
Yeah.
and then they had to
Yeah.
pick the best out of those
Yep.
20
Mhm.
of what they thought would sell.
Yeah.
So, the other 10 or 15 got thrown into a, the reel to reels got thrown into a box and
Yeah.
put
Nobody
away,
finds them,
you know.
yeah, for years,
Yeah.
and then they show
And
back up.
everybody did that.
Yeah.
Remember, you were telling me one time about Jim Reeves and how many songs he would record in a
Yes.
session.
Yes. Yeah. And
So
one
we're
takes, 1 or 2 takes
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they could they
because
had their ducks in a row.
they worked
Yeah.
with the same guys every
Yes.
time, the same
Yeah.
background singers
Yeah.
every time. So it was
Yes.
just like bam, one
Yeah.
take and it was
Yep.
done. So
Yes.
that
Yeah.
stuff's in the can somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Well, people didn't take 9 months to do an album back then. They couldn't
no,
do that. They had to
no,
work,
they were
that
putting 2 and 3 albums out a year.
mhm. Yep. And these guys would all go in that you were talking about Jim Reeves. I remember reading on him going into RCA Studio B, and it would be the orchestra, the Anita Kerr singers, and him, and they would rehearse the songs and they would get them like they would, and then they would 1 or 2 takes and they're done. Then they move on. And
Yeah.
they could do a whole album's worth of songs in a relatively short period of time because I mean, and he was known as being a perfectionist,
Yeah.
of getting that so those songs but you when you think about how smooth his vocals, how great the arrangements were, that most of his songs were 1 or 2 takes and he was done.
Well,
So,
back then, I don't think they had the ability to punch in,
mm-mm,
as we do today,
mm,
where if
no.
somebody makes a mistake, you go to that spot
Right.
and you re-record that little section.
Yep.
That's called punching in and punching out.
Right.
To where if the guitar player makes a mistake, we'll fix it
Yeah.
you just go
Yep.
in and punch in and out. Takes
Mhm.
2 minutes. But if somebody screwed up back then, they had to go
Mhm.
back and start over and do the whole
All over.
thing.
And
Everybody, all at the
right.
same time.
Right, and like I said, during that period of time when there were orchestras that were playing, it wasn't like there were 3 or 4 musicians. There were a whole bunch of musicians,
Yeah,
string sections and all that. One bad note, they'd have to start over.
yeah,
But,
everybody.
that speaks to, like, the professionalism and the perfection of
Well, that
the
was
people that played.
the talent of the players.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was no fixing it. You
No.
just did it, or you did it again. So, I mean, to me, that is still an amazing thing. But,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
And
yeah,
there was no what they call comping, where
mm-mm,
you record 4, 5 vocal tracks, and
mhm,
then you take the best parts out of each one and
mhm,
splice it all together and make one seamless
yeah,
track.
yeah.
They had to be they
There
had to
was
be
a
on
point.
it.
There was a point in time they got creative and started doing that with tape, kind of like they did with movies. But
Yeah.
can you imagine? That'd be like splitting hairs. We're so spoiled now that we can go in.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, we know,
I'll do
we can
I'll do
record live and then go in and like, okay, I want to add a harmony, or I don't like that vocal. I can redo my
yeah.
vocal and, or whatever. It's just, I just can't imagine. And I don't know what kind of stress level they had to feel, but
Man,
maybe they didn't know any different. That's they,
it was just another day at the office.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
just went in and did it.
yeah,
I, I sit down here and I'll record 15, 20 drum tracks before I get it the way I want. And that's bad in some ways because, now you have the luxury of being able to do that. So you're not as uptight and focused on
right,
getting it right the first
yeah,
time because
right,
if I screw up, big deal. I'll go back and
right.
redo it.
Well, and
Unless
you, yeah,
unless
okay,
you're in a studio that you're paying, $200 an hour, then you better
right,
have your
right. Yeah,
stuff
well,
together.
yeah. With us, we're
But
fortunate
with
we can do it.
with home studios that everybody's got now, you can do that. So,
Well, and it's crazy. It's like Willie Nelson said, you can make a hit record out of your bedroom.
well, yeah, and it's been done.
Yeah, exactly. All these YouTubers and things like
Well,
that. So,
that pop star Billie Eilish, her and her
yes.
brother recorded her first album in the bedroom.
Isn't that
and it
something?
it went huge. Put her
Yeah,
on the map.
yeah, yeah.
So
But yes, I mean, speaking to the fact that you can go and do 15 drum tracks, I can actually vouch for that. I don't know how many times that you had said, "Okay, oh, that vocal's really great." I'm like, "I can do it better." No, but then he's like, "Oh gosh." Then
yeah,
he's going to go do 15 drum tracks. So now and we do that a lot. You want it to be the best. If you're going to release it, you're going to put it out there and somebody's going to pay money for it, you know.
yeah.
We
And
want it to be good.
once it's recorded and released, there's no going back and redoing it. I mean, you can go
No.
back and remix it,
Yeah.
remaster it, whatever.
Yeah.
But
And
you know,
it's a fine line. You can make yourself crazy over something,
oh yeah,
which
it
we
gets
do
some.
often.
I do it. I'm
Yeah.
terrible with it,
Yeah.
especially the
Yeah.
mixing and all that. It's like you just got to stop at some
Well, yeah.
point.
Well, the way I look at it kind of now too is that, I've been I've done it for long enough now that most of the time when we're done with it, I'll give it a good listen and then I never return to it again. I don't listen. It's not
Oh
like we
yeah,
listen to our stuff, once
no.
because if you do, you're always going to go back and go, "Oh,
Oh
I could I have done that different, so
yeah. After
so
I
that's
finish a project, I don't listen to it for a year.
yeah. 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 I know.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, because you have to sit and listen to it over and over to mix it. When I do
even
my parts and I get done, I'm done.
even when other people come in the studio, we've had some very talented people come in here and do some recordings, but
Yes.
it's just like
Yeah.
you got to stop at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to call it good at some point or you're never going to be 100% satisfied with it.
No.
So, but I don't know. Anyway, well, I wanted before we get out of here, I've got some stuff that I found when I was cleaning out my office. I want to kind of go through some things. I'm working on trying to display some different things in my office. Um, but I had some memorabilia I wanted to show you all. I thought was pretty cool. One of the things that I got in about it was 1977. I went to California. My mom and I went out with my manager and his wife at the time, Crocky Peterson. He took us to LA and we worked out there trying to get somewhere, as you say, but and we stayed at the Beverly Garland. It was it was a hotel and it's still there in LA, but it was owned by Beverly Garland and she was a movie actress and it was a Howard Johnson's is what it was. And they had a restaurant that was attached to it and we would eat breakfast there every day before we would go out to work. And we met this really sweet gentleman and his name was Monty Hale. Well, now my mom was flipping out over Monty Hale because he was a cowboy. He was a cowboy star. He did like the serial westerns back in the day. Um, I didn't know who he was at the time. I grew to appreciate him later, just like I did with so many people that I have met in my life. But um, we spent 2 weeks in LA. We were in that hotel, and almost every morning he was there. And he got where he would sit with us at breakfast. He would visit with us. He'd sit with us every day. And then before I left, he brought me this comic book, and it was his, and he signed it. It says, "Hey, Colleen, I think I love you, honey. Monty Hale." Now, I think he was kind of sweet on my mama, to be honest with you, but because she was a pretty lady. But anyway, he signed this for me. Um, but we went and we had breakfast with him about every day. And I didn't realize till years later, of course, you have no internet, 1977, but he gave me this comic book and he signed it. And the comic book is from 1948. I looked it up. It was 1948. This thing came out, and he gave it to me. So, I mean, I'm very very thrilled to have it. Of course, Monty Hale's been gone for a long time now, but he was like one of those big cowboys from the cereal days. So I just kind of want to share that with you. It was 10 cents when you could buy it for 10 cents back then. Isn't that crazy? But I'm just thrilled to have that. I've had that all these years. I've kept it safe and just trying to figure out some way to kind of display it so that that because it's very fragile now. It's starting to get, really the paper is really soft. So I have to be really careful with that. So another thing I wanted to share with you all is a picture that I got a few years ago. Don't even remember where I got it. It was a collector's deal. When we first started this in March of 2023, the first show that we put out, the first episode of Classic Country Backstories, was on Hawkshaw Hawkins. And we were very blessed to get to sit down with Hawkshaw Hawkins Jr. And since then, he's become a really great friend of ours. Um, but I have a very special place in my heart for Hawkshaw Hawkins and for Gene Shepard and especially our friend Hawkshaw Hawkins Jr. He sat down and gave me a great interview. We want to get him back on here and talk to him about his family some more because he's done a lot of cool things and he's a great singer and writer in his own right. So, uh, but one of the things that I found online was this picture of Hawkshaw Hawkins. And I know it's got quite a glare on it, trying to get it where, but it's an original picture of Hawkshaw Hawkins. And if you'll I turn it over on the back. It is hand signed. Can you see this? Here. It's kind of hard to. There we go. It was hand signed by Hawkshaw Hawkins and it says 1952. So I am so thrilled to have this picture. It's a prized possession. I need to find out if Hawk has one of these. If he don't, I would turn it over to him. I would give it to him in a heartbeat if he wanted it and he didn't have it. But it's a very prized possession of mine. Like I said, it's signed in 52. So, and if you surely you know who Hawkshaw Hawkins is. But Hawkshaw Hawkins was a great country singer. He was a great country star, member of the Grand Ole Opry. He was married to Jean Shepard, who was Hawkshaw Hawkins Jr.'s mama, and he was killed in a plane crash in 1963, March of 1963, along with Cowboy Copas and Patsy Cline and Randy Hughes, who was the pilot and who was Patsy Cline's manager. So I know most people know that. I just want to make sure. Um, he had a huge hit with a song called Lonesome 77203. And he was a very charismatic performer. He did a lot of he did horse shows where he would ride a horse and he did bullwhip tricks and he was an incredible singer. So when we started this, I wanted to start with somebody that had a lot of history. I started looking at the Patsy Cline plane crash thing, and I know there's been uh, so many things done on Patsy Cline, and she was phenomenal. I mean, there's no two ways about it. She was a phenomenal entertainer, but there's been so much done on her that there really wasn't, in my opinion, enough said about Hawkshaw Hawkins and his career. Um, and so I wanted to make sure that I paid homage to him, and through Hawk and through the things that I've read, I feel like you get to know a little bit about these entertainers, and I feel like I got to know a little bit about Hawk. He has a special place in my heart, and I'm so glad to have that picture. So wanted to share that with you. Like I said, the other person that was in the plane crash uh, with Patsy Cline and Cowboy Copas and Randy Hughes was I'm sorry, with Hawkshaw Hawkins and Patsy Cline and Randy Hughes was Cowboy Copas. Um, and Cowboy Copas was an incredible singer. He he had several hits. One of it, the biggest one I think that he had was a song called Alabama, and he was a great flat picker and singer and entertainer. So and seemed like such a pleasant guy. Um, but I managed to come across a songbook that I found, and this songbook came out in 1947. And a lot of the entertainers would do um, songbooks of their songs. So, I mean, it had like this is a cool thing. It's got a bio on Copus, and it has uh, some songs of his in there. They were all songs that were written by him and other people. Um, so I managed to get this book, and like I said, it came out in 1947. And if you look up, I'm sorry, wrong side. If you look up here, it is hand signed by Cowboy Copus. And a cool thing I always loved, a lot of these entertainers, when they were put on the Grand Ole Opry, they would sign WSM at the bottom of their autographs. So I'm so thrilled to have this. This is like a real treasure. Um, so I just wanted to kind of share those things with you. And I know whether you're a collector or just a country music fan, if it's a just a country music fan, that's a big thing. We're all out here to help to preserve the tradition of country music. So wanted to share those things with you before we got to get out of here.
I've got something I want to share since
Sure.
you're showing memorabilia and stuff. We uh,
Yeah.
we went to that concert last night, and on the way up, we stopped at V Stock, which is it's a bookstore, but they have music, records, vinyl, cassettes, CDs, a lot of cool stuff. It's a great store. If you've not been there, check it out. It's in the South County Mall, but it's a chain. They have other stores, other places too. But with that being said, solo myself here, we picked up. I found this for $6. It is a box set of Loretta Lynn. It's 3 CDs. Each CD has 25 tracks on it or more, and it's got a little booklet in the middle of it with a bunch of pictures and a story. It has her discography, which tells each album when it was released, uh, who played on it, everything. It's just really neat. All kinds of good information in there. But for $6, you couldn't. You probably paid $50 for this when it came out, or more. And then it has a little sheet with the track listing of each disc, which, like I said, there's 24 songs on disc one and disc three. Disc two has 11 songs, but I mean, it's all of her hits. Everything she's pretty much recorded, is on there. So it's a great deal. If you come across it, buy it.
Well, you know what we're going to be listening to for the next how long? Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, you know how much we love Loretta. There was
Yeah.
nobody better. Nobody better. And we miss her so much. I know I've had a lot of people ask me when I'm going to do a thing on Loretta. And it's just one of those things that I want to make sure to get it right. That's the big thing. I met her when I was 8 years old, 1974. Got to know her a little bit, hang out with her, spend some time sing with her. Um, she was my number one in the country music industry, and still is, so I want to make sure when I do this episode, it is going to be the absolute best I can make it. Um, Hopefully try to get you some surprises in there. That's what I'm hoping for. So, uh, you just have to stay tuned and see what happens. But, you know, until then, we're gonna be reducing a bunch. Oh, there we go. That is at the DuQuoin, which is the Illinois State Fair in DuQuoin, Illinois, back in 1974, the summer of 1974. Loretta and I were backstage. Um, and I remember that just plain as day. The look in her eyes and her looking at me, she was just precious, and she was always so gracious to me. Um, Still wanting to do a tribute album to her one of these days. We're gonna
We
have to
will.
get we got to
It's
get
in
moving on that.
it's in the works.
Yeah, we've got some
But
stuff started on it.
yeah,
So, but
yeah,
well, Dad, I think we probably ought to get out of here. We've been on here for how long? An hour and 15 minutes. So we appreciate you all being with us. Uh, even if you're not with us live, you come back and watch us. Make sure you leave some comments for us. Go to the episodes and watch them. All the episodes we've made are still out there. I've lost track how many there are. I used to keep track of it, but I don't even
yeah.
do that
I
now.
don't know. And
So,
also, I think we're going to start a new thing, probably the first of the year. We've dabbled in doing these number one hits. Uh,
mhm,
the stories behind the songs of number one hits. So I think I'm going to start a classic album review where we
that'd
will
be good.
take classic albums, for instance, Willie Nelson, Red-Headed Stranger, and do a review on that album, tell you all the facts and where it was recorded and all the ins and outs, of these classic albums that, are so great. And yeah, we're going to do
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and like I said, we have a lot of episodes that we're working on right now, things that are coming up, coming down the pike. If you want to hear about somebody, let us know. We do, we make a point of on the episodes we go back, we look at all the comments. We read all of them. We try to comment on every one of them that we can. We appreciate your taking your time to watch our videos. We appreciate you taking the time to comment on the videos. Um, I put posts out there on our chat, and I appreciate the feedback. So I'm just, grateful that you all are on this ride with us, and we're just going to keep going. Charlie, we love you too, buddy. You are the best. He's an incredible bass player. He's an incredible friend, and we love him so much.
Love you,
Um,
Charlie.
yeah, we do. That's for sure. But like I said, hang in with us. Let us know what you want to hear. Let us know what your favorite songs are. We're gonna do more of the one hit or the number one hit videos. We want to do things on musicians in Nashville, on the recording industry, on Nashville itself. Got things coming up on the Ryman. I mean, we have a bunch of stuff coming down the pike. So stick with us. Let us know what you want to hear, and we appreciate you guys so much. God bless you all. And I guess we're gonna head out of here for the evening.
Good night, y'all.
Good night. See you later.